gonna call this video Welcome to the Jungle. Welcome to the jungle. So I got this subfloor that was underneath that shower pan all out. I wanted to videotape kind of like the process of how I did it, but it was a real dirty, grimy thing. I just had to dig into it and get it done. So I got this done. As you see, I notched out the floor joist. I gotta clean them up a bit. Like this joist here is a little bit bumpy, but what I can do is I'm gonna get some angle iron. I got some long angle iron that's nice and straight. Get the angle iron plane and get the angle iron attach them to the sides of these joists, and then I can run the router over the top of these joists and get it nice and flat and level, like damn near perfect. So that's gonna be the next operation. But I wanted to get this done because my neighbor is actually out for a couple of days. She's a little older, so all this construction dust, even though I sealed everything off, it still could potentially be a hazard for her. So it was best that she camped out with some family members for a couple of days while I got through this part. Now that I'm through this, she can come back and still keep everything sealed up. But once I get these joists ready, the next thing will be I'll be mounting the ply on top. All the reframing that I do is gonna be underneath. So I'm gonna get my lumber, the lumber that I need, clean it up down there. See all that old lumber, down there. I'm gonna clean that up. I'll get the new lumber and throw the new lumber underneath there, so when I cover it with the plywood, everything will be underneath there. All I gotta do is just crawl back under the house and I can get to work. But this is this is one of the hardest parts, because the other difficult part is gonna be getting my deck mud and my sloping right. But I mean, that's some more zen work. Can throw you some good music on and just kind of concentrate and take your time and make it right. But this work right here, this is grit. Like, come out of here dirty, sweaty like a football player. Get a little banged up sometimes. Well, us older guys, we kind of be a little more smoother. But when I was young doing this demo work, man, I used to get injured a lot. Luckily, it was never anything that stopped me from being able to function properly as far as all my limbs and fingers. I kept everything, but demo work is not for the faint of heart. What made this demo job a little more difficult than most, ripping out just wood, is I had to be real careful not to pierce these inlet feeds for the copper for the water, and also not to damage the ABS. I took some of the hangers off, but just two. So when I redo the framing underneath the new sub for the shower, I can reattach the hangers and everything will be back to normal. But so far so good.